The objective of this lesson is to be able to describe and identify 3D figures, specifically pyramids and cones, using geometric concepts such as shape, orientation, size, and correct vocabulary. It's important to know the names of the things around us. We have shapes all around us in the world. For example, this shape is called a cone, and it looks just like an ice cream cone. Today, I'm going to teach you about cones and pyramids, and hopefully we're going to be able to learn how to name them. I'm going to start with something called a pyramid. This shape right here is called a pyramid. It has something called a base at the bottom, faces right here, which cover the sides of the pyramid, and something at the top called an apex. So we have a base, we have faces, and we have something called an apex, which means the very top of the shape. This is a pyramid. Now we'll take a look at a cone. This shape is called a cone. It also has one base. It has one face, right? The wrapping around of the cone, we consider it one face. And then the very top is called an apex. Now, let's look at some different things about these shapes. This pyramid is more specifically called a square pyramid because the base is a square. Then the faces of the pyramid are triangles. So we say they have triangular faces, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4 triangular faces, and again it has an apex at the very tippy top. So this is called a square pyramid because it has one square base and it has 4 triangle-shaped faces and 1 apex. The cone over here has one base that's a circle, so we say it's a circular base. It has one face that wraps around the shape, and again it also has one apex. Now, these shapes aren't always going to look like this. Sometimes you're going to get a cone that looks a little different than this one, and a pyramid that looks a little different than this one. So, this is also a pyramid. It's called a triangular pyramid because, once again, it's got one base, and it happens to be a triangle. It's got faces, which are also a triangle, just like in the square pyramid. Their faces are always going to be triangle shaped, and there's 3 of them. 1, 2, 3 faces, and it also has an apex at the very top. And notice that they're different sizes. Just because these pyramids are different sizes, it doesn't mean they're different shapes. They can look a little different, and that's okay. But the thing to keep in mind is that they both have one base, they both have triangular faces, both of them, and they both have an apex, which means they both have the very top of the shape. Next we have the cone, and these are 2 cones, and once again they do look different, but they're both still cones because we both have one base. Right down here, one base. They both have one face that wraps around the shape, one face that wraps all the way around, and they both have an apex. So even though they look a little different, they're different sizes, they're still the same shape because they have an apex at the top, one face that wraps around, and one base. Both of the bases are circular too. Always in a cone, the bases must be a circle. Some Questions that I would have when I followed up with this lesson would be if they could tell me anything about the bases of a pyramid or a cone, and if they would be able to explain to another student what a pyramid and a cone is. And then I would have a wrap up with the class coming together and them telling me about their observations, sharing with one another about their observations. Thank you.